Hey everyone, it's Mike here, and today we're going to be talking about how to make money selling vintage photographs. It's an excellent niche. There's plenty of opportunity with them, and they're unique. That's the greatest thing I love about them, because each photograph is definitely unique, and there's buyers for the craziest things when it comes to photographs, guys. There's so many different photographs that are out there, ranging from landscape stuff to gay interest. It's crazy, and we're going to get into the basics here. I'm going to talk about what to look for, where to get them at, where to sell them at, how to list them. We're going to talk about eBay. Should we do auctions versus buy it nows? How to store and how I organize these, how to ship them, and I'm going to show you guys some items that I sold that are pretty cool photographs. So let's jump into the video here. All right, so here again, subject matter is going to be the key when it comes to making money with vintage photographs. Now, vintage photographs, there's different types, right? There's obviously anything vintage that is years prior, and you're gonna some vintage includes color photos from the 60s and the 70s. There's no doubt about it, right? The earlier the photos that are black and white, the earlier ones like 1800s photos, those can go for some really good money. But it all really boils down to what the picture is, right? So I broke it down here into some categories of what I think you should be looking for that I've done pretty well with photographs. A lot of it's like landscape, scenery, anything you can identify, whether it's maybe like an amusement park or whatever it is. History is another one. If you can find anything history related to maybe your city, maybe your town, maybe your state, anything like that. A lot of history, military photos are excellent sellers as well. Gay interest stuff. You're going to find a lot of these crazy photos, guys. You find stuff of half-naked women, half-naked men, and there's all different types of crazy stuff that's out there that I think you'll stumble across when you're really actively looking for it. But cars, motorcycles, anything that you can identify. It's a 1957 Chevy, or it's an old carriage. Stuff like that is going to sell. Anything, if you find a picture of a Harley, an early Harley on there, oh my gosh, they bring really good money. Same with like gas station signs, anything. Again, it's got to be unique. You got to look at pictures and go, that's unique looking, right? And there's so many buyers for this stuff out there, guys. Even though it's a small niche, but there's people buying it from the top collectors in the world. All they do is collect photographs, to people that are working on college projects or high school projects that are looking for a snapshot to use for their project. I've had people like that buy it from me. So don't be afraid to list things as long as they're interesting, right? And the best thing is, too, is when you're describing these, right, this is the typical title: black and white vintage photo snapshot. And let's take, for example, here, this very top photo here at the very top. 2 horses, 2 guys riding outside. There's your title. Don't overthink it. Just visualize the keywords from what you're looking at, right? And you'll do just fine. So where do we get these at? This is the big question. And you're not going to find these at thrift stores. That's for sure. You're not going to be able to go into Walmart and buy these. So here's where I've been able to really find them, is estate sales, right? People overlook the photographs. Maybe all the family members are passed away, or maybe they're just like cleaning it out and moving out, and they're like leaving everything behind. And you could pick up these photos, guys. I've picked up boxes of thousands for as low as $5. And it's an excellent opportunity to make some profits, right? Flea markets. You might find some guy at a flea market who's just got a box full of these. And so that's going to be the areas there. In terms of online, eBay. People are going to be lotting them up and just dumping them, right? And they'll sell for anywhere from a quarter to 50 cents a piece in a lot. And what you want to do with that, with eBay, you want to be careful. You want to try to find out if the person who's selling it as a lot, if you go in their store and they've got 10,000 photographs there, that's probably the stuff that's not selling for them. So that's what you got to really keep an eye out for when you're shopping on eBay, is try to find somebody who really doesn't, who just kind of piled them all together and they don't have an operation going. But again, look at what you can in terms of what pictures they provide, and see if you spot something there where you're like, hey, that's unique. Maybe that horse photo can bring me $10, whatever it may be. Again, Facebook groups. I've got ads out here in Arizona. I buy old photographs, and it definitely does work. So keep posting those ads out there. Keep scouring Facebook. And again, but I think the biggest ones you're going to find are estate sales. So if you have estate sales in your area, this is where you're going to be able to find a bunch of these photographs. Also, just a quick note, antique booths. You might find, walking by an antique booth, somebody might have 1,000 pictures there, and they want 10 cents a picture. So it might be an awesome opportunity for you to go in there and make some dollars. So where do I sell these at? Honestly, you can sell them on eBay. Etsy, you can create your own website dedicated directly towards this. You can also sell on Instagram, right? I've seen people, I personally don't sell photographs on Instagram, but I know a woman who sells strictly on just Instagram. She posts on Instagram, she does Pinterest, and people are contacting her, I want that photo, I want that. And that's how she makes her gig with photos. But eBay, Etsy, is not as large as eBay, but there is a demand there. But majority of these photos are probably honestly best on eBay because of just the broad range of people looking for them. But that doesn't rule out Etsy. I do sell photographs on Etsy there. It's just not as fast as I would on eBay. So what does it take to list a vintage photograph, right? It's pretty basic stuff. And, one is just you could start off with just a standard scanner, right, where you're scanning documents. You can get these really cheap. You can pick one up on Amazon or Walmart for $30-40. You can find one at a thrift store for a couple dollars and start doing it that way. If you're getting really into this game, you can invest into a high-end scanner where you just basically load 100 pictures and hit a button and it scans it all in automatically. Those really work well. Same kind of process when it comes to baseball cards. You can do the high-speed scanners. They are a little expensive. I wouldn't recommend just you go buy one right off the bat. You can definitely use a scanner right off the beginning stages and build your business. And if you get in a following and you're selling these things, then there might become a time to say, listen, the high-speed scanner is worth it. I can scan a lot more at a higher rate, and then you can have 100. Like I said, you can scan 100 things in seconds, and you'll be ready to rock and roll listing. And then again, the old school way, just use your digital camera or your smartphone, right? A very simple thing, if you're using a camera or a smartphone, lay a white piece of paper down and just put the photo on top of it. Boom, there's your photo. No need to crop, no need to do anything crazy. Okay, so eBay auction versus buy it now, right? Here's my approach with these type of items on eBay. If it's something like, let's say it's you saw a picture there of Stevie Nicks. I'm just not going to throw that randomly onto auction because I know it's worth something. I know some people, they'll spend 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks and up on old concert photographs, and they'll do buy it now. But the other stuff, the stuff that's like this little picture of this boy in a tree, I think I sold that for like $16 on auction. I prefer it with all the other photographs that I have, just straight auction on them. Just straight auction. Let them go to the wind, right? We have a good starting low price to engage people, but we're trying to create a call to action. We want people to get into a bidding war, honestly. And when you get into a bidding war with some people, so with these photographs, they go crazy, and you'll see later in the video of how it can easily get out of control pretty fast for people. But the other thing too is when you're doing the auctions over these, you're going to get your money flowing right in 7 days or less. So that's a key there, because at the end of the day, some of these photographs can be very long tail. I mean, you can go list 10,000 of them up there, and you might only sell a couple hundred a month, right? Just depends on the subject matter, what you have. But I like that fact of just forcing it to auction first, seeing if there's some engagement, see if we get a couple people to start bidding and going crazy, and sell these for some profit. So here I wanted to talk about storing and how I'm organizing these, because there is a process to this, right? If you look on the right-hand side of the screen here, I have just a standard index card box where you can probably hold about 100 to 300 photos in there, and I have it labeled, A1, and you see the date on there, 2012. So I've got things broken down based on a filing system, right? And then based by year. Because I don't want to sit there and go, wait a minute, I've had these here for 2012, they've been sitting for 4 years. That tells me I just got to get rid of these, and what I can do is line them up and just let them fly off the shelves. But if you're really going to get into this niche, you have to look at proper ways to store these items. And since they're so small, they don't take up a lot of real estate compared to 30 sweaters or 30 jeans. That's going to take up a big size box. This is stuff that you can easily put into index card boxes, plastic file folder boxes, totes, a filing cabinet. But the biggest thing I think is creating a coded system. It's crucial to have that coding system. And with eBay, with the custom label, you can tackle that in there and use your custom code for how you've organized it. So when that picture does sell, you know exactly where it's at, and you can pull it out in seconds, because that's the key. It's fun to sell things, but if it takes you an hour to go find it in your house, I mean, you're losing money, and time is money. There's no doubt about it. All right, so shipping these guys, very, very simple. Right? You don't need a lot of supplies, and there's a lot of different ways you could do it. This is one of the approaches I have, and I'll show you guys here, but you just need some 6x8 state flat rigid mailers, some basic envelopes, And it's just a very simple process. You could go through 30, 40 processing, 30 to 40 photographs easily in an hour. Ship the whole 9 yards. So let me show you a video, guys, here of just my process here and what we did. This is kind of how I got it set up here. We've got sold this one on Etsy, got $6 for it. Here's the standard photograph going right into an envelope. Once it's in the envelope, I'll kind of seal it in there. I don't actually apply the stick to it, just making sure it's all nice and flat. Goes in the rigid mailer, and this is it. Very, very simple. Sometimes I do wrap the photographs in plastic. I'll have these small plastic poly bags I put them in because you never know with the weather, and if the thing gets wet, it could destroy the photo. They're very easy to ship, about 1 ounce or so, give or take. And at the end of the day, it's one of those things where, it's 1 ounce, so it's going to cost like $2.45 to ship. Very simple to ship. Print out the labels, boom, you're done. So very easy process when it comes to that. Now let's get into some of the photographs here, and I apologize for the photograph here if you're offended in any way with nudity, but this is what happens, guys, when you find a good source of photographs. You're like, oh my gosh, what's going on here, right? Yes, I know it's crazy here. All I'm going to show you here is a lot of them here that were on auction that went in the bidding wars. Okay, see how we titled it here: Vintage Snapshot Photograph, Black, White, Army Men, Shower, Gay, Nude, 1950s. That's typically how my titles look, right? And then we have A1, which tells me, going back to the previous thing, A1 is where it's actually located at. It's in that tote. It's in that index file folder system. $83, guys. $83 for a photograph. Now, before I get into a lot of this other stuff, majority of these photographs, I picked them up 300, 400, 500 photographs, guys, for $10. You're gonna be able to find these again. Like I was talking about the state sale stuff like that. Another opportunity is auctions, local auctions. They'll auction off a bunch of paper and photographs, stuff like that, and that's how I scored these here in particular. Here, just these. Look at this, Army Men Shower, guys, just sitting there with the craziness with some towels. $47, guys. I started this off at $2 with free shipping. I said, let's roll the dice on this. $47 for a photograph. There's another one, $72. It's just some army dudes at the barracks, right? Wearing sandals and underwear. One guy looks like he's got shampoo in his hair or who knows what, shaving cream. They're getting crazy. They're getting fun. Doesn't matter. It brings money, $72. There's another one, same guy, at the army barracks in the 1950s. $67 on an auction, guys. Nuts. Another one here, just this guy looks like he's kind of drunk, and just there's something, it's just a photograph. There's subject matter here, right? And it applies to certain individuals that are out there looking for this stuff. And definitely gay interest is a huge market when it comes to photographs. If you start looking up on eBay or Etsy and you start looking at the higher end photographs, what they are selling for, one, you're going to get the history ones, the earlier history ones, whether it might be photos of original Indians from back in the early 1800s, old Western photos, and then you start getting into the gay interest stuff, the sex appeal stuff. So $78 for a photograph is almost insane. Here's a couple other ones here that I sold on Etsy, and I'm not just giving these away. If there's subject matters there, I'm gonna try to squeeze every dollar out I can with the photograph. The top one here was just a boy with a girl on a porch, right? Sitting out there, just sitting on the porch, and got $6 shipped for that. The one at the bottom here, as you can see, is it was an early 1930s photograph. It was actually a nice photograph. Two boys that were dressed up playing baseball, and I tried to flip this on auction. I thought this was going to be like a $30, $40 photograph on eBay. Never happened, so no interest in that. Threw it on Etsy, got $7.25. And then on the right-hand side here, this is Elvis riding a horse in Graceland in 1968. And the great thing is about it too, guys, is when you start to find these old photographs, you might just flip over the photograph. There's going to be some history on it, right? Then we give you a date, where it's from, what state. So always look that up, and that's where this one had this at. I sniped this one off of eBay. It was a Sunday at like 11:30 at night. This guy was just auctioning off all these original, Elvis photographs, and I got it for $4 shipped. I'm like, hey, that's a win. So I was happy with $30.25. And again, you just never know what these photographs can bring, guys. So I want to thank you for watching here today. Hopefully you learned something about selling vintage photographs. Hopefully you can maybe put this in your filing system when you're out and about and you see a bunch of photographs here. Look at the opportunities because they're out there. You just got to know what you're doing. The next time I'm out of here, peace.